Alex Rivera had long ago accepted that signing up for the intergalactic student exchange program meant his life was going to be weird. He had prepared himself for unusual foods, strange customs, and maybe even the occasional awkward cultural blunder. What he hadn't prepared for was sharing a small two-bedroom apartment on Earth with a roommate who seemed determined to document every second of his life like some kind of cosmic naturalist. That roommate was Kari, a Thaldrisi exchange student. Kari's species were slender beings, taller than most humans, with elongated limbs and skin that shimmered like liquid metal when light struck it. They communicated in a blend of speech and subtle skin color shifts, so half the time Alex wasn't sure if Kari was making a joke or simply flashing some instinctive emotion. From the moment Kari had arrived, they had filled the apartment with small hovering spheres, recording drones that followed them around, capturing every sight and sound. The alien had explained, in the calm tone of someone who assumed this was perfectly reasonable, that all of it was for research. At first, Alex had tolerated it. He even found it funny when Kari uploaded a clip of him singing loudly and badly while cooking dinner. That video had gone semi-viral on the Galactic Student Forum under the title, "Humans Vocalize at Food for Unknown Reasons." Aliens across dozens of star systems had laughed at it, commenting things like, "Is this an intimidation ritual?" or "Perhaps sound waves soften the nutrients." Then came the infamous pizza incident. Kari had documented Alex devouring an entire large pepperoni pizza during exam week, eyes bloodshot, surrounded by empty coffee cups. The video was called "Human Ritual of Self-Destruction by Grease and Bread." Again, aliens thought it was hilarious. Alex didn't find it so funny, but he let it slide. That was the pattern. Kari recorded, uploaded, and aliens laughed. Most of it was harmless. But one Friday evening, Alex came home late from campus, ready to collapse, only to find Kari sitting cross-legged on the floor in front of the hollow screen. Their skin pulsed a smug golden hue, which Alex had come to recognize as Kari's version of a grin. "I have done it," Kari announced the moment Alex entered. Alex groaned, setting his backpack down. "Done what? Please don't tell me you've uploaded another video of me sleep-talking about cheeseburgers." Kari's eyes glowed faintly violet with pride. "No, this is far more significant. I have documented perhaps the most bizarre and fundamental human ritual yet." Alex froze halfway through taking off his shoes. He had a bad feeling. "Define fundamental." Kari tilted their head as if savoring the moment. "Your reproduction rituals, mating, courtship, the secret dances of humans." Alex blinked, then blinked again. "You what?" Kari gestured at the holoscreen, where text in glowing galactic common appeared. "Before it's taken down, my alien roommate discovers human mating rituals." Alex's blood ran cold. "You didn't. Tell me you didn't just upload," but Kari tapped one elongated finger on the console, and the video went live. Within moments, little icons began popping up across the screen, thousands of aliens tuning in, comments flooding in from across the stars. The video wasn't what Alex had feared, at least not right away. To his immense relief, Kari hadn't uploaded anything indecent. Instead, the footage was a carefully curated series of human romantic gestures. People holding hands in the park, couples stealing kisses under neon-lit signs, a man kneeling clumsily to offer flowers, a girl blushing as she tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. For Kari, these were strange rituals worthy of serious academic analysis. To Alex, they were just life. The video began with Kari's calm, measured narration. "Observe the ritualistic entanglement of digits, commonly referred to as hand-holding. This appears to serve as both a signal of possession and an exchange of heat energy between partners. Note how often this is displayed in public, suggesting it functions as a territorial declaration." Aliens on the forum immediately began speculating. So the humans bind themselves together with grips to prevent escape? One viewer wrote. It must be a dominance display like tethering prey. Another chimed in. Kari continued, shifting the video to a slow-motion montage of couples kissing. Here we see the oral cavity collision ritual. This behavior is universally associated with bonding and possibly the exchange of biochemical information. It may serve as a test of genetic compatibility. The comment section exploded. Why do they attack each other's mouths? This is combat disguised as intimacy. Perhaps they are sharing nutrients? Do humans regurgitate food like carrion birds? Alex, watching from behind the couch with mounting horror, wanted to disappear. Kari had no idea how wildly off-base the interpretations would be. Or maybe they did, and they just didn't care. But the worst part came next. Kari had somehow, without Alex's knowledge, recorded one of his dates. Alex saw it on screen, his face filling the frame as he sat across from a fellow student in a dimly lit cafe. He remembered that night vividly, his palms sweating, his voice cracking slightly as he tried to impress her. He had reached across the table, fingers brushing, hers, and said something that made her laugh. Then came the kiss, awkward but genuine, their foreheads nearly bumping together before their lips met. Alex's stomach dropped. Oh no, oh no, 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 no. On the hollow screen, Kari's voice narrated over the scene as though it were a wildlife documentary. Notice my roommate engaging in direct oral fusion. The behavior is clumsy but determined. His partner appears pleased, indicating that the ritual is acceptable. This suggests mutual selection is required before reproductive behaviors can commence. The forum exploded into chaos. So the human, male asks permission to mate? How primitive. Why would he expose his soft facial tissues? That's a fatal vulnerability. Are they already breeding in this moment? Do humans require no temples, no cycles, no clerics? By the time Kari ended the video with a flourish, in conclusion, human mating rituals are public, frequent, and strangely artistic, millions had viewed it. The Galactic Forum's servers struggled to handle the sheer influx of traffic. Alex buried his face in his hands. Kari, do you have any idea what you've done? The alien's skin shimmered a soft lavender, signaling amusement. Yes, I have enlightened the galaxy. No, Alex groaned. You've just convinced an entire civilization that humans kiss each other to make babies in public. Kari tilted their head, unbothered. Do you not? Alex's jaw dropped. Of course we don't. But the damage was already done. Threads of discussion spun across the forum, with aliens dissecting every frame of the video. Some declared humans reckless, flaunting reproduction like a spectacle. Others admired the apparent freedom, whispering that perhaps humans had transcended the rigid control most species lived under. Then came the comment that shifted everything. A new icon appeared on the forum feed, its symbol unmistakable, a royal seal. Princess Zaira of the Veil Dominion, heir to one of the galaxy's most influential empires, had joined the debate. Her words, broadcast in the pristine clarity of official diplomatic channels, cut through the noise like a blade. This cannot be true. Humans cannot breed year-round. This is propaganda. I demand proof. Silence fell across the forum. For the first time since Kari's upload, the galaxy collectively held its breath. Alex slumped against the couch, his mind racing. This was no longer an embarrassing video. This was about to become a galactic scandal. The chaos sparked by Kari's upload hadn't slowed. It had only grown. By the end of the day, the Galactic Forum was swamped with theories, arguments, and even fan sketches trying to interpret what human mating looked like. Some aliens thought kissing was a duel of endurance. Others believed hand-holding was a form of tethering offspring before birth. Entire lecture threads had sprouted up as xenobiologists scrambled to defend or debunk the footage. For Alex, it was a waking nightmare. He couldn't even go online without seeing his own face frozen mid-kiss turned into a galactic meme. One commentator had even labeled him the Mouth Warrior, which Kari found hysterical, but which made Alex want to crawl into a hole and never come out. But then things escalated from funny to political. It happened when the royal seal of the Veil, Dominion, appeared in the forum thread. The Dominion was not some fringe colony or backwater species. It was a vast and ancient power, a civilization of bioengineers and ritualists whose reproduction system was as rigid as their laws. The Veil bred only once every 40 years in heavily controlled temples overseen by genetic clerics. To them, reproduction wasn't just sacred, it was an institution, locked behind bureaucracy and ceremony. When the notification flashed across the thread, "Royal account verified," the comment feed went silent, and then Princess Zaira's message appeared. "This cannot be true. Humans cannot breed year-round. This is propaganda. I demand proof." The words spread like wildfire. Screenshots of her post jumped across forums, news feeds, and hollow screens in every corner of the galaxy. Within hours, new debates raged, not between scientists and curious onlookers, but between governments, cultural leaders, and policymakers. If humans truly possessed the ability to reproduce freely, year-round, without clerical intervention, it wasn't just strange, it was dangerous. Kari was ecstatic. "Do you see, roommate? Even the princess herself takes interest in my work. We have achieved interstellar fame." Alex pinched the bridge of his nose, groaning. "I don't want interstellar fame. I want to graduate, get a job, and maybe, go on a date without the entire galaxy watching." But there was no escaping it now. Princess Zaira began posting regularly, each comment sharper than the last. "Show us the cycles. Show us your clerics. Show us the laws that govern your reproduction." Each time, Kari happily responded with more clips, more evidence, cobbled together from biology textbooks and candid street recordings of couples flirting. Aliens were baffled, amused, scandalized. But the princess was not amused at all. "Finally," she declared, "enough of these games. Humanity must stand before the Galactic Council and prove its claims. I will not permit this deception to spread unchecked." That was the breaking point. News channels picked it up instantly. The human exchange student, Alex Rivera, was now being summoned, in effect, to testify before the galaxy about his species' reproductive system. When Kari told him, Alex nearly fainted. "Testify?" he shouted, pacing their apartment. "You want me to go in front of an interstellar audience and talk about breeding?" Kari's skin rippled with amusement. "Yes, who better? You are a prime example, young, fertile, and already documented, engaging in the ritual." Alex's face turned scarlet. "That was a kiss, Kari. A kiss. Not, never mind. But..." Kari wasn't listening. They were already preparing presentation files, gathering human scientific articles, and polishing footage clips. To them, this wasn't embarrassing at all. It was history in the making. Meanwhile, across the stars, aliens began speculating about what would happen at the council. Some thought humans would be exposed as liars. Others whispered that maybe, just maybe, the humans were telling the truth. And if so, the implications were staggering. For the Veil, the idea was heresy. For other species, it was liberation. Alex sat on his bed that night, head in his hands, as Kari's drones buzzed around the room recording commentary. He felt like a lab rat on display. Yet deep down, beneath the humiliation, he also felt something else, a flicker of resolve. The summons to the Galactic Council arrived 3 days later. Alex had half hoped the whole scandal would burn out before then, but no such luck. By now, Kari's video had become the most viewed file in galactic history, breaking records across 10-star clusters. The title, before it's taken down, was now a phrase used jokingly whenever someone uploaded anything remotely controversial. But the council wasn't laughing. Representatives from hundreds of civilizations gathered on the holostream, their avatars flickering into the great chamber suspended in orbit above Chrysalis Prime. The chamber itself was designed to impress, a vast dome of silver lattices and starlight, where every word spoken was instantly translated into 100 tongues. At the center, Alex stood awkwardly, a single human figure dwarfed by the sheer scale of the assembly. Kari, of course, was beside him, tentacles curling with excitement. Doe. "Not be nervous, roommate," Kari whispered, their voice buzzing with anticipation. "This is your chance to enlighten the galaxy." Alex rubbed his temples. "I didn't ask to enlighten the galaxy. I just wanted to pass my finals." The council session opened with a resonant tone, and then Princess Zaira's avatar appeared, larger than most, shimmering with the authority of the Veiled Dominion. Her figure radiated elegance, slender, crystalline, her eyes like burning coals set in glass. "Human," she declared, her voice sharp enough to slice through the chamber. "Your kind claims the impossible. Year-round fertility, unregulated. Reproduction? Intimacy performed without clerics or sacred cycles? Lies. Dangerous lies." Her words echoed, and murmurs rippled through the chamber. Dozens of alien representatives nodded in agreement. To them, the human way was not just foreign, it was unthinkable. Alex swallowed hard. He wanted to run, to vanish, but Kari nudged him forward. So he lifted his chin and tried to steady his voice. "It's not a lie," Alex said, his words echoing strangely in the vast hall. "It's just how we are. Humans don't have breeding seasons. We don't wait for cycles that come once in decades. We can reproduce year-round." Gasps rippled through the chamber. Some delegates recoiled in shock. Others leaned forward eagerly. The princess narrowed her eyes. "Then prove it." Kari immediately leapt at the chance. They activated the holoscreen, projecting slides of human biology, charts, diagrams, videos from medical databases, all showing evidence of human fertility cycles, pregnancy timelines, and reproductive autonomy. "Observe," Kari narrated smoothly, their skin glowing with satisfaction. "Humans maintain reproductive viability across all solar cycles. Unlike many species, they require no external clerical intervention. Pair bonding is emotional as well as physical, with intimate rituals expressed both publicly and privately." Alex groaned internally. Kari made it sound like a lecture on insects, but the evidence was undeniable. Scientists across the chamber examined the data, murmuring among themselves. Still, Princess Zaira wasn't convinced. She pointed one crystalline finger toward Alex. "Data can be fabricated, words can be twisted. I want testimony from you. Tell us, human, why does your kind engage in such chaos? Why do you risk uncontrolled breeding with no sacred order, no restrictions?" Alex froze. 1,000 alien eyes bored into him. He could feel the sweat on his palms, the pounding of his heart. He wanted to shrink, to disappear. But then something stirred inside him, anger maybe, or just defiance. He straightened his shoulders. "Because it's not chaos," Alex said firmly. His voice, though nervous, carried farther than he expected. "It's choice. That's what makes us human. We don't breed because someone orders us to. We don't wait for a cycle that comes once in a lifetime. We love. We choose each other. That's how it works." The chamber went utterly still. Aliens shifted uneasily, their eyes darting between one another. For many species, the idea of reproduction without order was terrifying. For others, it was intoxicating, a glimpse of a freedom they had never known. Kari's skin shimmered in triumph. "There you have it," they said softly. "Proof not only of biology, but of will." Princess Zaira's expression was unreadable. her crystalline face catching the starlight. She studied Alex for a long, tense moment. Choice, she repeated, as though testing the word. Her tone wasn't mocking this time. It was thoughtful, almost wistful. The council erupted into debate. Some demanded stricter investigation. Others proposed sanctions, and a few whispered that humanity might hold the key to changing everything. When the council adjourned, Alex had expected his ordeal to end. He imagined he'd return to Earth, scold Kari into finally respecting boundaries, and then try to salvage what little remained of his privacy. He was wrong. The council session had been broadcast live across the galaxy. Billions had tuned in, not just scholars and diplomats, but ordinary citizens from every world. For the first time, they had seen a human stand before the most powerful assembly in existence and defend something most of them had never even dreamed of. Reproduction, not bound by clerics, not chained to seasonal cycles, not dictated by rulers or rituals, but driven by choice, emotion, and love. The aftermath was chaos. On some worlds, religious leaders denounced humanity as reckless heretics, proclaiming their ways as an abomination. In the Dominion, protests erupted outside temples as young Vale demanded answers, demanded freedom. Other species responded with awe, flooding human diplomats with messages that ranged from respectful inquiries to awkwardly enthusiastic proposals of interspecies courtship, and through it all, Kari was delighted. "Our research," they declared proudly, lounging in their chair back in the apartment, "has altered the course of galactic history. Already 4 universities are citing my video as a primary cultural document. I expect honorary degrees." Alex groaned, face down on the couch. "It's not our research. It's you filming me on a date without permission." Kari tilted their shimmering head. History will not remember it that way. And much to Alex's dismay, Kari was right. The infamous video remained online, untouched, despite countless attempts to censor it. Every time someone tried, a copy popped up elsewhere. The phrase, "before it's taken down," became a permanent fixture of galactic slang. Anytime someone uploaded something scandalous, daring, or revolutionary, the tag appeared. It was no longer just a title, it was a movement. But the biggest surprise came weeks later when Alex received a private message sealed under the sigil of the Dominion. It was from Princess Zaira. Her words were formal, but beneath the polished diplomacy there was something more. A crack in the perfect veneer. "Human Alex Rivera," it read, "your testimony has lingered in my thoughts. My people have known only chains disguised as sacred duty. We have bred when told with whom we were ordered under the watch of clerics. But you spoke of choice, of love. I cannot dismiss this. Tell me, how do you live with such freedom?" Alex read the message a dozen times, stunned. The princess, who had once accused him of lying, now sought to understand him. For days, he didn't know what to write back. What could he even say? That sometimes freedom was messy, that love could break hearts as easily as it bound them, that humanity didn't always get it right, but that the choice itself was worth everything? In the end, that was what he told her. And for the first time, he received a reply not as a challenge, but as a confidant. Meanwhile, the galaxy shifted. Quietly, rebellions of thought began. Some species questioned why they had accepted centuries of breeding laws. Others began experimenting with public rituals inspired by Kari's video, awkward alien attempts at holding hands or pressing foreheads together or even trying to mimic kissing, with varying degrees of success and mild disaster. Humanity, once overlooked as just another young race, had become a symbol of something larger, the possibility of living not by necessity, but by desire. One evening, as Alex sat staring out their apartment window at the city lights, Kari floated over, with another drone in tow. "Smile, roommate," Kari said warmly. "We are making history again." Alex shot them a tired look. "If you upload another video of me eating ice cream at midnight, I swear," but Kari only shimmered gold and replied, "Relax. This time I'm filming the moment the galaxy learns what love looks like, not just what it is." Alex sighed, but deep down he couldn't help smiling. Because in the end, as much as he hated being at the center of the scandal, he realized something important. Humanity hadn't just embarrassed itself, it had revealed a truth the galaxy desperately needed. They weren't just a species that could reproduce year-round. They were a species that loved, stumbled, laughed, and chose.